What's going on, everybody? Bunchkin here. As you can see right now, I have a screenshot up. There's a very specific reason for that. I don't want to give away my entire troop count to you guys. So you get to see that I have 1.4 million heroic cannoneers, which will be a little out of date by the end of the day, but hey, good for you. But in any case, guys, I have 4,200 troops queued to be trained. Why 4,200 instead of 6,000? Well, I will explain that in a moment. First off, I want to say this video is just a few tips to explain quicker, not necessarily quicker, but like more efficient ways to train your tier 4 troops. I was asked by my member Gator, and then also in passing my friend Omerta from EP9, a few tips on what to do with tier 4 and how to get tier 4 easier. And I can't really think of a way to do quicker outside of the obvious ways of increasing your training speed. That being said, I know that there are more efficient ways that you can do it that make it cheaper for you and for your guild. I spend regularly, so I get resources added in from the packs that I get. But that doesn't account for everything. And I found that a lot of players, even people who spend just as much as me, are constantly relying on the bank for resources. And I always found that confusing because if you check my stats, and I'm going to go ahead and go into here, you'll find that if anything, I am horrible at gathering. Look at my total resources gathered. I've been playing for almost 2 years. Let's see exactly how long I've been playing. 599 consecutive logins. That's how long I've been playing, because I've logged in every single day since I started. But 599 days of playing, and I've only gathered 211 million resources. But despite that, the only time that I've ever pulled resources from a bank was when I was making major troop pushes, and that was it. I've never asked for resources from the bank in my day-to-day, and it's not like I'm super low on resources either. I'm not extravagantly rich, but I do have a fair amount of resources. And I always wondered why. Like, I don't understand how I don't need to pull from the bank that often. And I think it came down to a really simple concept, and that is the way that I train my troops. Now, I recommend once you hit tier 4, training tier 4 in your day-to-day. Don't train tier 3 in your day-to-day. Definitely don't train your tier 1 in the day-to-day. You want to train tier 4 in your day-to-day, like set it in your barracks and leave it. When it completes, start more tier 4. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because you accumulate resources throughout your day. If you're trying to train troops, then you have at least a few manors built. So your gold production's not too shabby. I mean, mine gives me an excess. I need to give my excess gold to the bank right now, honestly. But as you can see right there, even without gold production gear or anything put on, I'm producing 419,000 an hour. That's because I have a lot of manors. I only have 4 infirmaries right now. But, in any case, even if you're producing half as much as that, you're producing enough to be able to train your tier 4 every day without having to pull from packs or from the bank. Gold is costly. Your bank will get plenty of ore, wood, and stone. It will accumulate like crazy. I know when I run a bank, those are the 3 that I'm never short on. If people ask for any of those 3 resources, I'm honestly relieved that they don't want gold. And sometimes even food, because gold is the most scarce thing that a guild has. And I mean that very literally. Like, people are always doing researches, so they always want resources from the bank for that, and those researches get costly, and you're always going to find people that are in the middle of researches that are going to cost 40 to 100 million gold to do. And as a bank, you want to be able to accommodate all of that. And at the same time, if you're warring a lot and you have a lot of tier 4 holders, you're going to burn through gold like crazy, because you're going to be healing tier 4 troops as well. You can save the gold. You can save the guild a lot of time and effort by training your tier 4 in the day-to-day rather than tier 3, because then you're never pulling from the bank for gold for troop training. And the reason is because when you go to do troop pushes, now you'd be focusing on tier 3 troop pushes rather than tier 4, because you've accumulated plenty of tier 4 up in the back, and then you need to push tier 3 to catch up your proportion. So the reason that I have 4,200 up rather than 6,000 is a very specific thing, and I'm going to go up now. This event is not a great example, but it has the exact point amount necessary to complete. The reason it's not a great example is because right now it's doing the merging pack speeds rather than the typical ones. But typically you would get close to 8 hours of speed ups for completing this. And right here you see it costs 63,000 points to complete. And it's a training soldiers and building one. Buildings are sporadic, you never really know. But training soldiers is always very set, and as you can see, when it comes to point systems, tier 4 vastly overpowers tier 3 in the amount of points that you get. And if you train 4,200, I already went ahead and calculated it all for you guys, you get exactly 63,000 points. So if you're always training 4,200 and you see an event like this come up, which they come up multiple times a day, like every time. I've never seen an instance where I haven't seen them pop up at least twice a day. You can rush them and you will receive all of the boosts from this, which makes it a lot more efficient for you, because then you start accumulating a lot of speed ups. I've burnt through a ton of speed ups rushing troops, but look at all the 3-hour speed ups that I have left. For hitting rank 3 in that solo event, when you get the normal speed ups, you get 2 3-hour speed ups, and then you also get a 60-hour from before, and then some stuff like that. But look at all that I've accumulated in 3 hours. I had twice that amount before I started rushing troops. And I mean, I've been rushing troops a fair amount. I'm up to 431 million might. I think it was barely over 400 million might the last video that I came out with. So I've burnt through a lot of the speed ups I've used, but look at all of these smaller ones that I have right here, and they add up. Like, I don't think that I can possibly go and use nearly all of them, but I only need 7 to complete this research right here. 22 of that, 45 of that. It adds up. And so, when you're training the tier 4 in your day-to-day, and you're rushing to complete these solo events, sometimes you'll have just started training them, so you'll lose some speed ups. But very often you'll find that you're in the middle of the training being done. So like right here I have 15 hours left, and sometimes it even matches up with hell events. Oh wow, lucky me. So I would get the first tier reward for the hell event as well, which is 60 minutes. And because these last nearly 3 hours, you have the time to wait and see if a hell event will pop up to go if you want to be extra efficient. But because I'm doing some merging packs right now, I will go ahead and rush to finish this, just as an example, and I think that I will go ahead and use that last 15 hour of mine that I have left. So now in 3.5 minutes that will finish. I'm not going to rush it down to the last minute because there's really no point to that. Honestly, there was no point to me finishing it down to that, but I don't find it to be necessarily less efficient to do that, because the sooner that you start training the next one, the less time that you have to rush to finish it when the next event comes up. So the thing about it is now I will receive, even though this is not the best one, nearly 2 hours of speed ups that I got completely for free, that if I had went and done a major troop push all in one go of tier 4 and not worried about that, I would not have really gotten. I would have gotten, but I wouldn't have gotten in excess of. I feel like I'm trying to over-explain it here. Well, there's my tier 4 that you see. That's fine. Whatever. Boom. So, the point of it is this increases your efficiency. Very much so, because you get to accumulate just a ton of speed ups that you get, and then when you get to troop rushing, you can rush a lot of tier 3, and 3 hours that you get, and so on and so forth, are very good to use with it, because I don't know, like for me, 6,000 tier 3 takes me less than 18 hours to do. I would say realistically for the average player, 6,000 would probably take closer to 20 hours. And in any case, right there, you only need, what, 7 3-hour speed ups to complete that, and then you have a little bit to spare. So right there, I highly recommend that you do that. I highly recommend that you try and match it up with solo events. These ones, not so much. If you're really trying to work on your familiars and you want to take a little bit of potential away from your troop training, then that could work. But if you're just trying to push out some troops, 4,200 equals 63,000 points exactly. Whenever you see one of those events, take the opportunity to rush. Even if you lose a few speed ups, you gain a lot of efficiency because you gain nearly 8 hours that you would not have gotten if you hadn't rushed at all and just let it finish off. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I hope you take some of this to heart, and if you have more tips, please leave them in the comments below because I would love to see. And until the next video, guys, bye.